Hey, welcome
Hello.
to the Between the Shores podcast. I just dropped my chair down here. It's great to be back and
Yes.
have a little bit of time to discuss Between the Shores, between Sundays, and where we're at. Welcome to Summerside Community's podcast discussing about Sunday. And as we've often said, we're between shores. It's the narrowest place of the island.
Yes.
And I don't know. It sometimes feels like this is a narrow part of the week. Monday, we're
Yes.
right on top of Sunday, but already thinking about Sunday.
Thinking about the next Sunday coming up.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, how do we live in today
Yeah.
in the midst of it? And that's part of Between the Shores too, is how do we take those times, the margins, like the beach,
Yeah.
the beaches on the edge of the water, to just rest and be present and even take a moment just to listen. Listen to the sound of the ocean, the waves, even listen to the sound of the day. And so on a Monday, that's a challenge for us on a Monday. How do we listen?
It is.
And so
It
hopefully
is.
your week's going and getting started in a beautiful way. And so we're just looking forward to talking a little bit about Sunday's message on our series in Colossians.
Yes, just
Jesus,
starting.
Just starting.
Yeah.
Week 2. And I think it's planned to be about a 6-week series. And we always leave that, we hold that with open hands, because if the Lord wants to do a little bit more, we're open to that as well. So we're excited about what God is teaching us, and that whole piece, Joel, around like Jesus is greater than everything, and how that really does cause our human hearts at times to really wrestle, because we think, well, there's got to be something that I'm responsible for, something I must do, like it can't just be on Jesus. And that is a wrestle for us. And we were just talking before the podcast about the challenge that we have to lean into Jesus and let it just be about him. And I think I was thinking about this, the mixture thing. We've been talking about how do we recognize and learn to recognize the things we've mixed into the pure gospel truth.
Well, we go
of
like Jesus and Jesus and my discipleship and my service and my things, my preferences, Jesus and and so Jesus and the things I've learned in in the marketplace, or the things I've learned in university, the research I've read, like Jesus and it's got to be my opinion. But I also think as humans we do have FOMO. That's a big word, a fear of missing out. Like, am I missing something if I just focus on Jesus? Am I going to miss something? You know, what struck me about this passage is that it talks about how Jesus has all, like he contains the mystery of God, and he has all knowledge and all wisdom. And every time I think about that, I was like, all knowledge and wisdom, he contains all of it. And so there's really nothing that he doesn't have. So if I focus on him, then I shouldn't be missing out. Like, I shouldn't. But there's this thing in me, and I think in us as humans, that we're like, but there's got to be more. Yeah, like the very passage in Colossians 1, it says, for God in all his fullness was pleased to live in Christ, and through him God reconciled everything to himself, and he made peace with everything in heaven and on earth by the means of Christ's blood on the cross. And that peace is often why we're not even satisfied, because we're like, well, it's that little bit more, that little, like I want a little more flavor, like you said about the spice. We add
just want to spice up Jesus.
one more bit of sugar in there. It's like,
I want, well, that's my opinion, right? My taste. I want Jesus to be this. I think that would be better, right? That's our opinion coming out. And I've been thinking about this a little bit more too. And it's interesting, as teachers, Joel and I were talking about, when we're teaching, we are also teaching ourselves. And the Lord is often, as a teacher, as we walk through teaching, he is continuing to teach us and show us things to help us recognize what he's also wanting to do in our hearts, not just in those who are teaching, but in our hearts as well. And I've been thinking about how this, the idea of him being everything, and how we want to mix things in. But the more that I mix in with Jesus, the more I have to do. Like, the more that I feel like, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do this. And my life then can start to feel like I'm out of control. I'm getting busy. I get burnt out because I think I have to mix all these things in to make it work. And he's one that says, no, like, come to me with your burdens.
Yeah.
Lay them down with me. Take on my burden and my yoke. It's easy. It's light.
Because when you start adding too much stuff in, like, I don't know, for like when I think of recipes, it gets lost.
Yeah,
like there's you're adding too many flavors, trying too much stuff, and you overwhelm.
Yes.
And we get overwhelmed when we're trying to juggle everything and think this is all about us.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, fortunately, it's simple.
Yes. And then that simple word, and we're talking about the simple word, and oftentimes when we hear simple, we think, like, it can kind of have a negative connotation of, like, simple, so it's really not.
Yeah, like you're simple.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry.
But that's the connotation
it's
that it can
insult.
have. Right,
Yeah.
it's an insult. Yeah. Or it's too easy.
Yeah.
And when simple applied to Christ, it really has to do with the pure form of.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, it is black and white.
Yeah.
He was enough. And so there's a pure form of, that's the simplicity of it. And that's what we struggle with.
Yeah.
Is like, we want it to be more than it is. And it comes back to, Joel, you said it, it's not about us.
Yeah. Well, that's that whole struggle of, what must I do to be saved? Like, we still are trying to do something.
What must I do?
And that's a struggle here, because Paul keeps saying in chapter 2, don't, you know, don't do this, don't do that, don't add.
Yes.
Don't try to fit these, don't quit touching stuff and saying, or don't, you know, get caught up in all these special days and this.
These special rules and things that you must do.
Even don't condemn others.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is like, there goes half of YouTube. You know. Not this podcast.
Not this podcast.
But it is kind of, you know, saying, like, what are the things we need to let go of and just say, God, I'm going to trust you with that. Yeah. Even if I don't understand it all or can't figure it all out, I can trust you with it. That you're going to lead me forward in this. This is actually, you may be accomplishing something more than I want to accomplish. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about just how sometimes if we're open in a day, what God will do when we're open to it is way different than what we would have ever planned or ever expected.
Yep.
And like yesterday, I ended up at the dollar store picking up something for my house, and I ran into someone who I was able to encourage. And I kind of asked the Lord after, I'm like, is that why I went to the dollar store?
Yep.
Was that the purpose? Yep. And so, like you've said before, on walks, you've run into people.
Oh, yeah.
And had an opportunity.
Great conversations just with random people on the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know in that moment if God has put us there.
Yep.
Because he's got something that he needs us to step into to be his hands and feet. And again, it's not about the plans that we have, but what his plans are. And his plans are always better. They're always better.
And it's being at peace with what I need to be doing in the day, every day. Like you would, what was the word you used? You know, kind of our daily office.
Daily rhythm.
Yeah, our daily rhythms. Yeah. We're still doing those, but then we're open to, God, if you want to do something completely, like, whatever, like, shut the power off, like last Sunday. You know, are we ready to pivot and say, okay, I trust you, you're doing something different?
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't negate that we have rhythms, right? That we have
and that God can't speak through those, which he does. Yeah.
Exactly. So
in fact, he prepares us and gets us ready for when the power does go off.
Yes. Yeah.
We can still make it. Yeah, we're still living.
And I think that's important to remember. It's not like we don't have plans. It's not that we don't, take steps forward in, we've got to eat, right? Yeah. We've got to survive. Yeah. We've got to ensure there's heat in our house. Yep. Those things have to happen. So, and I mean, we have to, it's important to exercise and move. And there's some of those pieces that sometimes people exercise in the morning and, those different things. And it doesn't mean we just throw those things out.
Yeah.
But we walk with our sight on him as we do it and see what he might be up to.
Well, I look at those two parables in the Bible of one's a parable and the other one's an actual story. Sure. Joseph preparing for 5 years, and then the other guy who was building the barns, and God says, hey, this is it. You can build all the barns you want, but you're going home today.
That's right. Your life is ending.
And one of them is, God said this. He's in both.
He's in both. Yeah.
Yes, be prepared if that's what I'm calling you to.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, be prepared. You're going to be called home.
Yeah.
If that's what I'm calling you to. So don't rely on this.
That's right.
Any more than you rely on this. Because I mean, this 5 years is going to turn into 5 years of famine.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
So in all of it, you still got to say, I'm not relying on myself. I am relying on you, God. Whether this is part of my daily rhythm or this is something special that you're doing.
Yeah.
I still need to hear you.
And that happens in like even daily plans, but even in your work.
Yep.
Like God may call you to continue.
Yep.
He may call you into something totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from the business world, and it's interesting because I'd always wanted to work in ministry, and kind of had felt a call early on, but the Lord had me in the business, in the marketplace. And I remember when I finally got to the place where I was like, God, this is where you have me. I'm going to take ministry.
Yep.
I want to do it more as a job. I love what I do in my church. I volunteered, a ton, but I just laid that down and said, look, this is where you have me, and I'm going to happily serve you in this way. And I laid it down, and then it was literally 2 years later that the call came to come here. And so, like, you don't know in the midst of it.
And even coming here, you came with one idea,
yes.
and he had a different idea.
Yes.
I mean, and that's part of the process.
That is.
You think,
yes.
And it's kind of what, if you're willing to accept it, God knows our hearts, and he knows, okay, I can get them to the next step with this.
That's right.
And if they keep trusting me, we can go ahead.
It's true, because if I would have known, I would have never come.
Oh, my
goodness, like, he knows that about us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He knows so well.
Yeah.
He knows our hearts, and so he knows what it will take for us to be able to turn our eyes and say, okay, I trust you. Yeah.
And somehow God is gracious. And I remember as a kid, I used to say to my parents, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And both my parents would look at each other and be like, no. But they would be like, oh, that's nice, Joel. And they would just let me go on, like, there's no way he's going to do that. But they would
he's got to figure it out himself.
Yep. Yeah. And I think God graciously sometimes, oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
Okay. But and very graciously leads us along. It's like, okay, we can use that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting. Today in the Lectio 365, for those of you who use the Lectio for prayer, for guiding prayer, it's a great app. It was Peter when he had the vision of the animals, the unclean animals. Yeah. And in that, like one of the prompts was, like, Peter didn't need more knowledge.
Yeah.
He needed a new way of viewing
things.
And I think that's part of God unraveling the mixture, is that we don't need more into the mix, like, to make more of a mixture.
Yep.
We actually need a new vision of who he is. And that was part of the message in Colossians is, like, Paul wanted them to see Jesus, to have a vision of who he is, so that no matter what was coming at them to tempt them to mix in, they would say, well, I don't want that. I don't want that as part of my life. I want the Jesus in his pure form. Yeah. And so we need that vision of who he is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's in his timing. It's waiting on him. I mean, because if we're always reacting, well, I was thinking back this week the other day, because we're in that middle season now where things are changing. Yes. And we had the conference here the other week. Yeah. One room had like 20 or 30 people in it. Yes. And they all cranked the heat up when it was cold, when there was like 4 people in it. Yeah. And then when it was 30 people in it, was too hot in there, and they're all bailing out. And it's like, well, because you can't keep,
that's right.
Like, everyone wants the heat warm, and then it's too hot, and then you all want it cold. But it doesn't change the atmosphere that quickly. And in the same way, we kind of approach God that way. Like, this is too much right now. I need this. And we go from one extreme to the other. Yes. And yes, God can, but most of the time he's like,
let's just.
Yeah, I have a set pace and speed. I know what's best.
Yes, that's right. You don't need to like crank the heat or turn it to freezing cold.
Yeah. And we just go flip flop, flip flop.
Because I think it's part of a discomfort. Yeah. Because I think of, like, I'm bad for this in the car in the winter. Like, I'm like, and yeah. My husband's like, it's too hot. It's too much. Because I'm uncomfortable. But if I would just let it warm up and wait, it doesn't take that long. No. And it's going to be okay. And I think that's the same. Like you're saying with Jesus, like if we would just wait, it's going to be okay. Like it will go where it needs to go if we'll be patient and wait on that for him to move.
Yeah. So
today, at his pace. Right?
Yeah. Go at his pace.
Yes.
Look at what couple take homes. What do you need to get rid of?
Yes.
What are some things like, what did it say where it says don't? What are some of the don'ts God saying? Stop.
Yeah, stop.
Stop touching that. Stop. Stop touching the dial. Just don't. Hold on.
Stop scrolling.
Give some space. Don't let anyone condemn. Don't condemn others.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes I know in my own journey with the things to get rid of, God, it's usually this journey of him making me aware of, okay, that's not so, I don't feel so great after, let's say, doom scrolling or whatever it might be. Like, I don't feel great. And so I don't like that feeling. And so that starts to kind of build in me, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. And so it's this gradual, he's always working on our hearts gradually.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not as gradual. Sometimes it could be more no, that needs to stop. But I think to pay attention to those things and recognize, but the reason is that he's not wanting to take something away from us.
Yes.
It's because he wants us to have more space with him.
Yep.
Yeah. So what to let go of?
Yeah. More Jesus, less of other things, and
less mixing in.
Yep. Less mixing.
The other question was the if.
If.
Yes.
Yeah. If I only had this, then it's to stop thinking in that way that we think if I could add more of this, or if I had some of this, or if this didn't happen, then
like if I moved, if
I wasn't on the island,
I could do this,
or in this county, or that,
and if I had more education, right, if I had more money, if I owned my own home, if I got married, like we have all these ifs that we say if. And so what if you laid that if? What if you laid that if down,
we lay it down
in front of Jesus and said, and leave it with him and say, God, help me, you be.
And oddly, a lot of times when we finally lay that if down, he opens up things.
Yes.
And sometimes even the very thing we lay down.
Yeah. So we don't know in the midst of it what he wants to help us see. And I even think about, like I had mentioned yesterday too, like one of the things we can struggle with mixing in a church is we often mix the leadership and the organizational structures of the business world and marketplace into the church, thinking we can run a better structure. And coming from the business world, I know the Lord has really begun to work on my heart. It's the lens, like taking if we did this and if we did this and if we mix this in, if we do that, then it will be like this. But so many times, because that's not the kingdom, I have found myself running into walls and going, this is not working.
Yeah.
And the Lord's saying, because it's not my kingdom.
Yeah.
It's not what I've asked you to do.
Yeah.
And so sometimes things may appear like false starts, like we're not getting anywhere, but it's because it's not the kingdom. And so it's going to hit a wall. It's not going to function because it's not who he is.
Yeah.
And to be okay, I've had to learn to be okay with things ending because endings allow for new beginnings.
Yep.
And allow for things to grow.
Yep. And
so laying those things down, recognizing, is God really in this? Is an important question for us to be asking ourselves. And I think the more we ask ourselves, the more we begin to see, even in the bigger church, we can have more grace.
Yeah, and I like that because we do have a tendency, especially I think in North American Christianity, to be looking for the next thing.
Yes, it's true.
Well, like
it's kind of cultural.
Well, like I'm even thinking about like where we're going this Sunday and where we're going
with the Connect group.
Yeah, we're doing Connect groups this Sunday, but that's not the answer. It's one step in the process of what is Jesus saying to us? And what is, like everything we're looking at right now in Colossians, this is like you said this week, which I thought, I knew that, but I forgot that. Paul never even went there.
No.
I mean, he's writing a letter to a group of people who he knows through somebody else.
Yes.
But the truth of the gospel is this is who Jesus is. And even if you know him through somebody else, he knows you even better. And so don't get caught up in what somebody else is doing.
Yes. What does he have for you?
Yeah, know Jesus yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like that.
That's really important because at the end of the day, somebody else is not going to get you into heaven.
Yeah.
Right. Or get you like to.
Or don't chase after somebody else's experience.
Yes.
Build your own experience with Jesus.
Well, because your journey, my journey, your journey, none of them are the same.
Yeah.
And they're not meant to be the same. And our healing journeys are unique to exactly who we are. And there are seasons.
Yeah. And what connects us is Christ.
Exactly.
Where we see, where we get closer to one another is we like, oh, I see Jesus in you.
Yes.
And you see Jesus in my, Yes. And that's the good stuff.
Well, because even in Colossians, he prays at I think it's verse 6 where he talks about unity in the love, like unity in love. Like our love for Christ is what creates our connection.
Yeah.
And so that's why following him.
Yep.
Again, that song from Sunday. The more you seek him, the more you find him. The more you find him, the more you love him.
Yep.
And so the more we love him, the more that unity forms, and that's what attracts us to one another. And that's where groups naturally begin to form.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Absolutely. So it's going to be good. And so this is just week 2.
Yes.
And there's more to come in the book of Colossians. So join us next Monday. We look forward to more dialogue. Thanks, Joel.
Hey, thank you.